Thanks for the invitation. As we were discussing with Stefan, I don't have any formal presentation because I couldn't imagine myself making a PowerPoint about what I did already. I'm not that old. So I'm 40. I look 10 years less, maybe 12, I don't know. I take care of myself. And I started on the web in 2000. I have a degree or I can't remember difference in maîtrise or master in sociology, another one in history. Nothing recorded the web, actually. And I started at Kelku again in 2000, the price comparison engine, as a product manager or as an intern that become a product manager. And I did that for like 4 years as a product manager for France, taking care of the user interface mainly, as probably all of you are doing on product management side, and not really about many relationship with the commercial team, the technical team, and taking care about content event, all the things we were doing at Kelku, taking care of, can't remember exactly, 200 categories or something, so we got nice category trees for users. So that's what I did for 4 years. It was pretty nice because the company started with 4 people in Paris and become like 300 in France. And then was bought by Yahoo. We have many Yahoos here, or ex-Yahoos. And for 2 years, Yahoo decided not to touch Kelku, so we were part of a big company, but without having the wall in purple and everything. And then we have to move back to every company that bought Yahoo in France with Overture, with can't remember who, but there was one team with 3 companies. So we had some fun to discover what was a big company, very, very different from a French company oriented, even if Kelku was European. And there I was still working as a product manager, but for all product that was related to a commercial, travel, shopping, and cars. So that was my way to enter into media properties, which was pretty different from Kelku at first. And then Yahoo did that for 3 years, and then Yahoo decided to sell back Kelku because they didn't like the orange, which doesn't fit with the purple. So, and I went back to Kelku with the old friend, and as a European product manager this time, taking care of all countries for still user interface. And when the company was bought by English, you know that English don't like old people who have been there for 10 years in the company, so they asked me to leave, and I said, why not? And I leave. And that was there that I decided to have a choice or to go back to a similar company or Microsoft or anywhere I wanted, or I could. But I decided to take like 1 or 2 years to make a break and decide what I could do differently. The point is that during the time I was at Yahoo, I already started a blog, a personal blog, with 2 friends, which was named Topito at the time, and which is still named Topito. And the idea of it was to get more fun than working on many presentation and PowerPoint at Yahoo. So how could I have fun working on the web? And my point that I read a book about from Nick Hornby, what the name High Fidelity, and he was making a tons of lists about the music he could have at a funeral, or stupid list, but kind of funny. And I said, that's a nice way to see the world. So we started a very simple blog on .clear, and we were putting just an article per day. And we did that for like 2 years, and every time I could talk about Topito in every Yahoo presentation, I was said that it was sponsored by Topito. No one knows what it was, but we started to get some people on it. And in 2009, when I left Kelku, we had like 200,000 people per month. So I said, okay, it's a start, and maybe we could try to do something about it. So I was maybe a little bit naive about what was a media side, but that being naive made me start and made me jump into it. So I was, because I need to be relieved, and my mother wanted to know what I know. At the same time, we launched I decided to make Topito a real site in 2009. I was working as consultant for different e-commerce websites, but it was not that fun. It was good paying, but not that fun at all. So I decided to make something on my own and ask my two partners if they wanted to come with us on starting a real company with offices and people working with us and coffee and all those things. And one decided to come, the other came but a little bit too late for us, so we kind of split in a way partners does sometimes. And we started to publish much more content on the site. We were publishing one article per day. We started to do 4, and now we're doing like 6 or 8 articles per day. So what's Topito? It's does anyone know Topito? Yeah, that's my goal. I can leave now. No, the idea was to make an entertainment website about everything that could be ranked or put on a list, and mainly the only editorial way of doing it is, do we like it? Is it funny enough, or is it interesting enough? Can I learn something about it? And that's the main thing. So now we've been developed a little bit. We have like about 6 or 7 people working with us. The website is about 8 million visits per month. It's only in France, and we still on publishing only 6 to 8 articles per day, because we're really focused on the quality of things we want to publish. And the idea of what we publish is like we have like 50% of what we're doing is curation, what we found interesting on the rest of the web, and we try to mix it in a way that it becomes unique, but it's not coming from us. It's just that we spend all day on the internet, so we probably could find something interesting for you if you don't have time to do it. And on the other thing, we try to get like 50% creative, working on things that you probably never seen elsewhere. And that's our main goal, because it's really easy for now, or not easy, but it's easier for now with development of Facebook and Twitter to build a viral website pretty easily. I mean easily. It's not easy, but you've got new tools to develop those kind of sites that we didn't have when we launched Topito. So this creative things for us is pretty important, and that's why we're really focused on, first, our DNA was to write text, but now we are developing also on images that we built, and the video that we've done for a year now. What I can say also about Topito, how do we earn money from that? How do we get money from a media website? So it's the split is like we've got regular media ads, like banners and things like this, which is dealt by outside agencies we're working with. And since a few months, we're developing the word that everyone is saying, which is native advertising, which doesn't mean a lot. It used to be called brand content. It used to be called special operation. It used to be called advertorial in some way. But the point is that when we're working with a brand, we've done it with Microsoft, we're doing it with Canal+, we're doing it with brands like this that are all media or have a specific campaign and work with a different tone. What we try to get on Topito is a unique tone. Everyone is saying that, but in some way, saying the same thing as everyone. But I think on our side it's true. The only thing we didn't invited the list or the top 10. It's really US based. But our tone is in some kind of unique. So even if you find a list on our site that you can find on L'Internaute or any kind of, or L'Express, in some way what you read on our site should be a little bit different. At least we try to bring something new if we didn't invented the list from nothing. So there's ads, as I was saying, divided in regular agencies and native advertising. We're also pretty good in affiliation, and it's because we have an history in e-commerce websites, so we know how to play with way to bring people to buy some stuff, like we do a top 10 stuff that you must have, or every day we're launching a new insolite or stupid gadget, which is named Topitruc, And every time you're going and buying there, we get some money from it. And the other part where we try to get money from is that we sell some content. So we steal some content from Yahoo. I don't know why, maybe because we knew from people from there. So we are selling them like 20 articles, unique articles on per month, plus like 8 or 10 videos per month. So that's ways to make money, or at least some money, from a website which at least at first was not company based or made to be a company. It was just a blog. And the idea is that when you focus on what you like, at some point it could work. So I tried to make some kind of, is that clear for now what I said? Everyone loves Topito, or are you convinced now? No, I made some kind of top 5, because that's the only thing I can do. And it's not really advice, but what we learned, or what I learned from my small past at Topito, is that if you want to launch in something or start a new stuff or something you like, we have the ability on the web to start early. You don't need to get, at least if your stuff is not too technical, you don't need to get tons of funds or investors. Start with something. Start it. If we didn't have the blog started in end of 2006, we wouldn't have now the history on SEO that we have. So it's really important to start it as soon as you got the idea, because on the other side someone could do it, and because the frontier from having the idea to make it, when the product is not too technical, as I was saying, is pretty thin. So try it, fail if you're gonna fail, but try it. It looks pretty obvious, but from what I get, it was really important to do it. The other side is what I learned from my small entrepreneur, even if I don't feel really like an entrepreneur, or a lucky one, is to find a good partner. I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. So try to find someone with different skill from what you have, because it's really important at first to have someone to say that what you're thinking is a pretty bad idea at first, but on the other side, to have someone to do something that you can do. And my partner is much more technical, even if our website is pretty easy. It's running on WordPress. It's, no technical. We don't have anyone technical in the team. But on his side, he's able to work on SEO and all the basic stuff. So find someone that could really make a strong team, even if it's a small one. The other one that and it's important for product manager, is that for those 6 to 7 years, we only focused in product. And what I learned from working at Yahoo or at Calcu is that if you don't like the product that you're doing, you can be pretty sure that your product is crap. And I work with too many people that were not using Calcu when we were at Calcu when they buy something, or not reading Yahoo when you were working on a media property. So how can you imagine working in a newspaper and you don't read the newspapers that you do on a regular basis? It sounds obvious, but if you're not really interested in what you're doing, I mean, you will smell it. And I see too many people now going in the media or buzz something. You see that they're just doing it because it's easy to do all the stupid crap, Faith in Humanity Restored, that you see on your Facebook wall. Do they really care about Faith in Humanity? Of course not. So work on what you like. It's easy, but for me, it was the main difference. And I still like what I'm doing. And that's why maybe we were a little bit stupid to work too much on the product. But even when I was talking about affiliation, the product that we choose once per day to propose different things and list to our users, we don't get money from many of them, and I think that for the first 6 months we didn't get money from any of them. But the idea is that as long as people will understand that we will propose them something interesting every day, they will come back for something. And at that point, when we got a minimal amount of people, we will be able to get money from it. So the focus on product for a product manager sounds obvious, but from my history at the 2 big companies I've made before, it was not that obvious. And when you're working on a small basis like we're doing, you're obliged to get it. If it's boring, you can say that to me. Huh? So I don't mind. The other thing will be, even if you got a small team, is that you need to stay open-minded. By that, I mean that it's still interesting to get feedback from people like you to say that I'm doing crap, or I should do that, or I should do that, and listen to investors. We didn't have the need to get investors in our company. It's now a fund, and actually it's not fund. We started with 200 euros, and to build a blog, it's more than enough. We were pretty rich at that time. But it's still interesting I have the feeling that the site I'm working on today is already dead. I mean, I can remember a website that I used to read or go on 5 years ago that I'm still going on today. So I got to see what I'm going to do on the next move. And by that, I can't do that on my own because I'm too much working on a daily basis. So at some point, you need to get someone on your shoulder saying, okay, stop what you're saying, stop what you're doing, and explain to me what you're doing and what you're going to do, not in 5 years, because sometimes you get investors coming and say, what are you going to do in 5 years? What are you going to do in 5 years? I don't know. I mean, how can you say to someone working on the web what he's going to do in 5 years? I mean, in 5 years, Twitter was that small. Facebook didn't bring any traffic to media sites, so it's the market is changing that much that you need to think about 1 or 2 years in advance. But to me, I can't do anymore. I mean, some people can. I don't have this ability. But having someone to ask yourself are you doing the same? Are you doing the right thing? How are you going to exit this company if there's an exit? How are you going to go? Are you going to build Topito in Spain? Not in Germany, but where it's nice to do it. But in Italy or in London, I don't know. But having someone asking the question you may ask yourself is interesting, and also keeping on focusing on what not really competitors, because I mean this place was almost everyone on the web. But is there something new? So I mean, that sounds obvious too, but when you're working on something on a daily basis, and now we have people to take care about that have problems to come to work, that have problems with their carte orange, all the basic things that you have when you got people working with you, that distress you from the big ideas that you could have in a few years. That's interesting to get someone that could be your old boss, or people with smart ideas, or people like you to get a feedback and saying, are you really thinking what you're saying, or is it? So that might, and I try to get at least real feedback where I stop working what I'm doing every 2 months or every 3 months. It's not set it on my agenda, but just closing the MacBook and saying, okay, what's the next move? And open the MacBook 5 minutes after because I don't have a next move. But and going back what I'm doing. But at least I ask myself. And the other thing will be to get lucky and happy. But it sounds more obvious than the other. But at some point you need to get lucky. When I see some people talking about what I did and explaining to me how smart it was and how visionary I was, yeah, good. I was also lucky, or maybe I was more lucky than visionary, but that by doing and testing that you create the luck, and after that's a question not only of karma, but all the things that you could do. I had the impression leaving Yahoo that my social network that was not that important. And in fact, you've got all colleagues that have ideas and that could bring you stuff to start. So that was really important to make this luck happen. And as I was saying before, happy because if I'm not going back to a big company, it's mainly because I wasn't that depressing at Yahoo or Galku, but at least when you know that you are doing something for you. I'm not saying that I'm going back maybe in a few years in a bigger company, but for now, having this impression to do what you want and I mean, if you read Topito, it's not always that intelligent, but to me it's funny, and that's the most important, and that's what I was mainly missing on the company I was doing before. So on that, the product management history helped me. because it helped me to be focused only on what I was knowing, which was product management, and focus on the product of the site I was launching. And you know everything. Almost. Do you have any question about, I don't know.
Got a question?
Yeah.
When you had a blog of 200,000 readers,
Yeah.
you had some sort of kind of proof that there was something interesting.
I was hoping.
Some readers found something interesting.
Yeah.
Right? How did you go from nothing to 200,000 readers? What was
That's my visionary point, I don't know. No, but mainly, we stuck to something that we knew was working. So that was a reason. One article per day, which could be funny at some point. So that's pretty important. And we tried to make some links exchange. We had a little bit of visibility at Yahoo, just to explaining that they didn't know that we were in the company and funny. So that's where it started, and as I was saying, Facebook was not there, or still starting, and not that important for media side. So for now, going from 0 to 200 in a month could be doable. I mean, you can do it on one article that is splitting from nowhere, but from what I was remembering at that time, a few years ago, it was more like a daily work. That was part of my daily work. I've got something. I got to work. I got to have something every day, and take care of we didn't have that many people, but when people were writing to us, we respond, and we started to get articles write by users, and by publishing, by letting them know that we were also some kind of platform, not an open platform, because we were still an editorial website, so we wanted to choose what we were publishing. But at some point, everyone could write on Topito. That helped us, because the first ambassadors were the guys that we publish an article and send them to their small community at that point. But when you're doing it now, I mean, you could have nice ambassadors, which are actually much better than any Facebook page you could imagine. Yes?
How big is your team today?
We've got like 5 person under contract, or 6 next week under contract. We've got 4 people working on the 4 people working on the content writing, 1 on biz devs, working mainly with brands to get the native advertising, and 1 is a graphist. Is that what we say in English? Yeah. Which was working mainly on Photoshop creation and video editing, plus 2 interns and ourselves.
A special question. What is the top 1 Topito in a way?
Exactly. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Is it about cats?
No, not even. No, about freaky couple. Pictures of freaky couple. But I mean, we made really freaky people. But we made a difference with what is the most shared, which would be basically for sure images, for sure. And on the other side, that will be the creation part we were thinking about. And the creation part, we achieve to get some content, I mean written content on the top 10 of our shared content. And this is where when you work on small niche where I will say that now, when I see, you've seen many websites that made too much optimization of SEO like 4 or 5 years ago, and then you got a Google change, Panda, Penguin, everywhere, and there's no more website. And for now, people are doing the same with social network, with Facebook and Twitter. So they are not optimizing what's work on Facebook. They are they're doing, sur-optimisation. They're doing it. They're using all the cards, but more than the cards. So at some point, Facebook will change the way they're doing it, and they will be cut. So you see that the content that is too much shared for now, based on emotion, nostalgia, and identity, and it's nice to use those codes and to know that when you're doing an article, We've made an article last week about les Bretons, and there's so many people proud of being Breton that you can be sure that it's going to be shared. But that's enough. You don't need to optimize this to be shared. So for now, the most shared stuff on Topito will be images, but we have the most shared and the one that we like the most, which will be kind of different. Monsieur Le Vaillant, you had a question?
Yes, I have a question. So you're in the fund business, you said you're doing something you really like doing.
Yeah.
But is it that fun to go with finance, HR, office management?
Yeah, because you got some help for that. So, no. Actually, it was we tried to split it with my partner. I'm doing the fun part. He's doing the rest. But yeah, I don't think it that way. I mean, it's mandatory. So at some point, even any fun part of it, everything you're doing fun has some dark part. So if the dark part of having fun for 90% of the day is to do some HR and be sure that people get paid and find new offices, that's good.
Did you get any help for people?
Not for now. We need some help. Now we've got the company is turning a little bit. Even having one or two people more is making it too difficult to make everything on your own. And I mean, it's possible to do everything on your own, but the point is that when you're working on that, you're not working on something else. And the idea is not to write another article, which I could prefer doing that, thinking about the new stuff. But at some point, you've got also working people with you that expect you to do this kind of thoughts and to bring you somewhere. So even if you don't say it, we did our first seminar last year with everyone in the company, which means 5 people. But we bring them at the sea in France, and we had some fun. And for the first time, I could see the company working without me and working. I saw the company working without me. So it was first, and I understand that actually they expect from me something different than being in the office and writing with them. So at some point, you need to bring them somewhere. So that's the job. No problem. Yes, Stéphane.
Hello.
My pleasure.
So are you the CEO of the company, or do you consider yourself the CEO of the company? And the question that's related to that is, do you think you are the leader or the manager of the company, being the product guy?
That's a good question.
Sorry.
No. I can see that you had time to think about it.
The whole duration of your speech.
I don't know. I'd never present myself as a CEO, as even in my signature, it's co-founder, and that's enough for me. On the other, I'm not sure I will be able to answer this question. Because it brings me back to having a CEO. For me is still comparing your company to a big one. I mean, CEO of 200 people, okay, CEO of 5. Well, I'm the founder, and I'm there.
But when it comes to the second part of the question, which is, do you think you are the leader of the company or the manager of the company?
Maybe I was too much a manager, and now I need to be a little bit more. So because I had the impression to manage myself in the company, but for now I get to manage all the people, and as I was saying, to try to bring them somewhere. So I have to make this move from manager to leader, and that's not an easy one because it's different. And at some point, maybe I brought the company to my limits of abilities. So this is where you started to need some help.
Are you a bit afraid by
No.
vigilance? No, the fact that you can choose between getting bigger, then being a CEO,
Yeah.
actually not
Yeah.
being a product guy anymore, or maybe making it a bit difficult, or choosing to be small, but staying the product guy. It is part of it. You're frightened by that, so you don't care at all.
No. It's a good question. Sorry, it's a very good question. No, it's a question I try to ask myself, and I want to ask myself this question as long as the company is working well. I don't want to ask it too late in 1 or 2 years. Now that we still have the choice, what are we going to do with this choice? At least we need to get to know all the different opportunities. Then making a choice of not making a choice is a choice. But that's why, for now, trying to put all opportunities on the table and to make the choice that we want to do. Because we have met some, in some way, investors in London or in Paris, and they're bringing the company where they think you should bring it. But after 2 minutes, you see that's not what I don't want to do from my company. I mean, or my website. I mean, you've got some people saying, okay, you've got a strong knowledge in e-commerce, you should stop what you're doing, you've got a nice community and bring them to e-commerce. Yes, but I'm not able. I've seen also in Yahoo at Kalku people being able to make a change and say, we're going that direction. No, and then we go there. I'm not able to do it. But for now, as long as it's working well, I want to be able to make the right choice and to help me with people that are not making the choice for me, but are explaining to me what are those different choices. And opening, for example, in a foreign country is one thing, but it will divert us from the mothership, what we're doing on a daily basis. And that's one thing also I learned. By not having the money to make different things, actually it was pretty good because we stay focused on what we're doing. And I've seen some people raising some money, which is pretty good when you need it. But after a few months, they were testing some stuff that to me were already dead before doing it. But they just have the money to do it. And we didn't have that chance or that non-chance. So we stayed focused on what we're doing. But at some point, you need to stop this focus to think a little bit bigger. And that's what we're trying to do now. And that's the tricky part. But that's not, I would be afraid not to think about it. I know it's on the table and I know I have to take care at some point of it before it may be too late.
I think we'll stop it there, just for time reasons.
Perfect.